Former West African leaders under the auspice of the West African Elders Forum (WAEF) have called on political leaders in Africa to address security challenges in their countries and strengthen democratic institutions to enhance good governance and economic development in the sub-region. The leaders who spoke at a strategy meeting held in Abuja on Wednesday stated that for democracy to endure, it must yield basic public goods to its citizens. Chairman of the Goodluck Jonathan Foundation and convener of the forum, Dr. Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, in his opening speech, expressed concern over the recurring military intervention in West Africa, adding that the forum is poised to actively engage key stakeholders to stem the tide of regression of democracy in the sub-region. He said, "The sustainability of democracy in West Africa is key to resolving many of our challenges. I therefore appeal to all our leaders across nations to make democracy work for the interest of all citizens. This is why we need to continually advocate for the strengthening of our democratic institutions. Strong institutions are the pillars for the sustenance of our democracy and the development of our nations." Dr. Ebele Jonathan also clarified that the forum was set up to complement the efforts of governments and international organizations in a bid to promote peace and good governance in the sub-region. He said further, "As stakeholders, we must therefore help in this regard and fashion out the best approach towards the strengthening of our political systems." Let me re-emphasize the point that is often made that for democracy to endure, it must yield basic public goods to its citizens. These include economic development, good social services, freedom, justice, peace, and security. This underscores the place of good governance in our discourse of democracy. Democracy loses its meaning if it does not guarantee the economic status and social security of the citizens. Today, we must interrogate some fundamental issues such as recurring military intervention, democracy and good governance, peace and security, economic development, as well as human trafficking in our sub-region. Meanwhile, Worth Dixon Ominabo, communications officer, Goodluck Jonathan Foundation, said in a statement that former President of Nigeria, Chief Olusegun Obasanjo, who joined virtually in his intervention, called for a proactive strategy to forestall political crisis in the region, adding that early warning signs should be leveraged to prevent degeneration of tenuous situations. In his words, "I believe that we need a proactive strategy and a reactive strategy. When we open our eyes, we can see what is going on in most cases. We know what the end will be and we fold our hands until the inevitable happens. Then we start shedding crocodile tears." He added that elected leaders should not manipulate the system to go beyond their constitutional term limits to avoid plunging their nations into avoidable crisis. Also, former President of Sierra Leone, Ernest Bai Koroma, in his remarks, noted that the region was experiencing reversal in gains made over the decades, stressing that the forum should come up with proposals that would address our situation. Similarly, former Prime Minister of Senegal, Aminata Toure, in her address stressed the need to focus on prevention of election-related violence and charged the forum to set up a task force that would follow up on elections to prevent electoral violence. Most of the times, we have a standoff between the government and the opposition, and the civil society is not really equipped enough to handle these issues. Let's build a network of conflict prevention. We need a network of people that can alert and signal on potential issues and talk about our problem before our problems deteriorate. Former Prime Minister of Burkina Faso, Kadri Dzere, called on ECOWAS to be more visible in management of political crises, stating that such disposition would improve the credibility of ECOWAS. Jonathan Obasanjo and other West African leaders call for strengthening of democratic institutions. Democracy, in a simple term, is the government of the people, for the people, by the people, is people centric, is everything about the people. But the sort of democracy we see in West Africa, that West African leaders are practicing, it's nowhere near the people. It's not about the people, it's about their selfish and their personal interests. And those are the kind of things that destroy the country, that put the country in bad shape. Even Nigeria, where this the leadership, where they all gathered for this talk. Nigeria's security situation is in a bad shape. I can imagine how these leaders, how they are feeling with all of these other West African leaders in Nigeria as well. Well, Goodluck Jonathan and Obasanjo, they are former presidents, and anytime talks about the situation of the country, how the country is right now, sometimes some fingers are still pointed to them that they played a role, they contributed. But for Goodluck Jonathan's one, we know that the security situation was not this bad. It wasn't this bad. After President Muhammad Buhari took over in 2015, after promising heaven and earth and everything he promised that the country will be better, change will come. We haven't seen change up to now. Most probably the change he was talking about was the change for the worst, that we should expect the worst. So unfortunate. Anyway, what Jonathan is actually demanding and asking West African leaders to do is that they do have a role. Of course, they have a role and they have to be proactive. That one really got me. Most times, the leaders are not proactive. They wait for the situation to get back to deteriorate, and that is when they start crying crocodile tears. Let me use the same words that was used. That's when they start crying crocodile tears. But they can act, they can take decisive action when they see that this is where this thing is going to lead to. Just take, for instance, the farmer herders clashes. You know that these guys, they are just out there attacking innocent citizens. We know where it's going to lead, but take decisive step to see that at the end of the day, the decision is in the best interest of the people, of the masses, the citizens, those that elected these same leaders. It's only during election time that the leaders feel that they need the people. After that, they don't think about the people. Also, there are also different issues that arise from elections. Nigeria will be having their general election next year, and we're hoping again that the security situation will not get worse, because it's already bad. It's already bad, and these politicians, they are fond of raising thugs to work for them during the election. After the election, the weapons that these thugs they carry, that were given to them by politicians, they keep those weapons, and those are the same weapons they use to terrorize various communities. Well, guys, leave us your take. Thank you once again for staying tuned. Please don't forget to like, share, and to subscribe till I come your way again with more updates. Bye.